Whatever this is, we've got it. You're listening to the Bearded Theologians podcast, hosted by Zach Bechtold and Matt Franks. If you'd like to find out more about the Bearded Theologians, you can go online at beardedtheologians.com. Okay. You're listening to the Bearded Theologians, hosted by Matt Franks
and Zach Bechtold.
This week, to bring Advent to a close, when this podcast goes live on, actually, as soon as I get it done today, will be almost to Christmas. Yay, Christmas! Yay, Christmas! But within the season of Advent, we've been talking about the key phrases of Advent: love, joy, peace, and hope. And this week, we're going to talk about love. And so, Zach, I'm thinking about when we attempted this the other night. When you think of love, what comes to mind?
When I think of love, beyond the kind of obvious of family and friends and, loving, the immediate people around you, I just kind of think of what that action of love is, what it means. It's one of those terms we throw around, a whole lot these days. I love lamp, I love this coffee. I love, Star Wars, whatever. I don't. I will make an honest confession now. I haven't seen the new Star Wars. I haven't seen the old Star Wars and anything in between. Anyways,
this is a abrasion in our relationship.
It'll be okay. It'll be all right. I promise. We'll make it through it because I love you.
And I know that in relationships, there are times when you do disagree and you learn how to work through those disagreements. And so
that's what love is you're willing to work through those disagreements.
Yes.
No, beyond all of, kind of that stuff, it's the action behind it. What it really means to love a person. There's sacrifice, there's work to be done. And when I think about the way that Jesus tells us to love, love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbor, those are big tasks. And they take a lot of sacrifice and a lot of work. And, so it's just on kind of the very, we could talk about love for probably a whole year in a podcast and not cover it all. But that's kind of where I'm at. I just look at love as, what does it take to actually love another human being? And it's a whole lot, whether it's family or friends or a stranger.
As I think about it and reflection on it, I jump back to Paul. And when Paul says love is patient, love is kind, the whole First Corinthians 13 set of words, I find myself really leaning on that, especially in times of trying to reminding myself what I need to be doing when I talk about loving my neighbor, especially when I talk about loving myself, because sometimes I need to learn to be patient with myself. And I can be patient with my neighbor that maybe hasn't mowed his yard in like 4 months, and it's like 4 feet tall. And I just respond with not mowing my yard because I just make it look like it's just a great agreement.
I was going to say, when you say neighbor, do you?
No, I just, in solidarity for him not mowing his, I don't have to mow mine. I mean, I just think it works. But no, when we think about love, and when I think about love, especially at Christmas time, I think of when love came down. When God loved us so much, we see it in John 3:16. God loved us so much that He sent His only Son. God loved us so much that He wanted to come and be with us and get to know us, and that's really what love is that when you truly love someone, you're going to get to know them and get to know them in such a way that you can even have disagreements and still be together. I'm sure God really disagreed with the way that we were living our lives. And yet He still loved us and cared for us, and saved us. And so when I think of Christmas, I really think about that more than anything. And I think of Christmas and love and those two things, and that we really needed God's love to be able to do this. And that's why I think it's so important for us.
No, and I think that's right. You said something there that's really something I think about quite a bit. You know, we talk a lot about loving God and loving people, but oftentimes we don't love ourselves, and that's tough. You know, we are certainly I don't know about other people, but I know about me, and it's probably safe to say it about you too. That we're the hardest on ourselves, and which causes, you know, if we're not loving ourselves, how are we going to love people, and how are we ultimately going to love God? And so there is that give and take, and in doing those things that build ourselves up, where we can go out and function and do and be in tune with the world around us. And so, you know, love is one of those important things. And like you say, what does it mean to love your neighbor? Is it instead of letting your yard grow up to match theirs, you know, mowing both your yards? You know, it's those simple things.
I did that once. He wasn't happy about it.
You got to mow it good.
No, I mowed it. It looked good.
Do your best.
It looked really good. Actually, mowed his better than I did mine, and he wasn't happy about it. So I just agreed not to do it again.
That's fair. Love your neighbor as he wants to be loved, right? But you know, we saw a guy. We've got a pretty high contingency of homeless veterans here, being a military town and things like that. And we saw some folks a couple weeks ago. There's certain street corners in town that there's always people at, and this one particular guy was collecting blankets and socks, and you know, that's what he needed. He was honest with his needs. You know, it wasn't money, it wasn't food. It was, I'm collecting blankets for my friends who are also homeless. And so, you know, we went by to Walmart and bought a couple blankets and threw them in the car, and you know, we're waiting for the next time that we saw him so we could help out. You know, it's being in tune to those types of things that, you know, people's actual needs, and being in tune to what they do need and not what we think they need. You know, and that's really what I think that's what love is, you know, whether it's to your neighbor or family and friends or a stranger. It's less about what we think they need and what they actually need.
So, I guess what we're saying, both of us are saying, is that to practice love means we need to listen first and then respond, instead of the other way around. I think far too often we want to respond first and then listen. But what if the challenge for this week, and for, you know, because we're entering into a season where we're going to be with families, and we're going to be in situations where we're going to want to speak first. What if we challenge you for your family gatherings and all that stuff, is that instead of talking and trying to prove a point, you just listen to them. You don't have to agree. Like, I mean, there's going to be some crazy stuff at your family gatherings. There always is. I mean, I already know the conversations are going to happen in mine. I mean, they just happen every year. But what if, instead of trying to force our way and our opinion, we just listened and just allowed it to happen, and then watch football or whatever you all do to let it happen, and just let it happen.
Or you could be in my case, instead of instigating those conversations, simply just be quiet and listen.
Yes.
And enjoy your friends and family.
Yes.
You know.
You know, we can take the Alexander Hamilton approach. If you haven't listened to the musical, talk less, smile more.
That's right. No, and I think that's some good encouragement for this Christmas season, you know, or this Advent season. You know, we've talked about, you know, hope and peace and joy, and now love, and we've really stressed the idea just to slow down, to really find hope and peace and love and joy. We got to slow down a little bit, and like you say, just simply listen. And be present. And so I would like to echo what Matt said. This Christmas season, when you're spending time with friends and family, or whoever you're spending time with, you know, take the time to slow down and just listen and find the hope and peace and joy and love that comes along with it. And let the this Christmas season, what it really is, in the birth of Jesus Christ and the hope to the world. Let that just settle in your heart, settle in your relationships, and see how things change, see how things are different, and see how you can carry that in for the next 365 days through 2017.
And I think that's a great challenge, because especially like I said, you're entering into hostile territory. And so if you can just open yourself up and let yourself listen to God, I think you'll be amazed at even in the midst of those crazy family conversations, there's room for grace. And you may even find somewhere where you actually do agree with your crazy uncle. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
In some way, shape, or form, you do share some DNA together. So always keep that in mind. You do have some common bond.
That's right.
And before we close, this will mark. We bought the website a year ago. We bought it as a Christmas joke for us, and it started in this, and it's something I've loved to come and enjoy every week, getting to do this and cultivating content and all the other stuff that we've done. And also, I really want to thank our contributors. We've had some phenomenal contributors, and if you'd like to contribute to the Bearded Theologians, just email us at beardedtheologians@gmail.com. We'd love to have you. If you have an idea that you want to write about and you don't have a blog space, we would love to be able to provide a blog space for you, because that's what it means to be part of the conversation. It means opening up our space to share, and that our little playground is not just our little playground. We want all people to come and play and hang out with us.
That's right. And even if, I've had a few people ask me, well, I want to write a blog, but I don't know what to write about. Can you tell me something? We'll give you some topics. If you want to write something and you're just passionate about trying to do something and get started, that's part of our playground space too. That's how we started. We didn't really know what we wanted to do. Well, whatever it is, we got it, right? And so, if you want to contribute, man, we got some space for you, no matter what.
We do want to encourage you that if you're interested in writing about first century Christianity, we'd love to have something about that.
If you want to write about polity or missions too, I've got some 2, 3, 4 page papers that you could write for me too. But we really do appreciate all of you who have contributed to the blog, who've read the blog, who've watched the podcast, and bought stuff on beardedtheologians.com, shirts and mugs and stickers and things. We truly couldn't do this without you. We really, really, really appreciate you guys tuning in and downloading and hanging out with us and having the conversation. We're almost to 500 followers on Facebook, which is pretty sweet, and a little under a year, right at a year. So if you could help us get to 500 or over 500 before 2017, that would be super awesome. That'd be the best Christmas present you could give us. And plus, it's just that many more people who are exposed to whatever this is. But know that on your holiday travels, your Christmas travels, New Year's, those types of things, this makes a great road trip podcast. You can download it on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. It's on YouTube. It's all over the place. So download it. Share it with your friends and family when it gets hard to just sit and listen to them. And on the drives there, whatever. But follow us on Facebook, the Twitters, the Instagrams, all the other things. I think we're on all of it. But check out beardedtheologians.com for past blogs, podcasts, and all the really neat things that we have on there. Before we close, Matt, do you have anything else?
Just don't forget to buy an awesome, sweet coffee mug or t-shirt. Those things are awesome.
They are.
I wore mine the other day in Winfield, Kansas, and I had a lady ask me about it. She was intrigued, and actually she ended up following us on Instagram, and so it's kind of a cool deal. So
that's right. Be shameless out there with all of our stuff. We appreciate it. For the Bearded Theologians in this Advent and Christmas season, I'm Zach Bechtold.
And I'm Matt Franks.
Thanks for checking us out.
We hope you've enjoyed the conversations that we've had today on the Bearded Theologians Beardcast, and we'd encourage you to continue those conversations online at beardedtheologians.com or on our Facebook page. We also hope that you pick up a couple of coffee mugs to satisfy your coffee mug collection. Have a good day.
Grinny face.
Crap, I forgot coffee.